Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zack, and today I am driving a 1992 Subaru Vivio RXR. Up front is a 658cc supercharged 4-cylinder, and down below is a 5-speed manual transmission. Now, I am super excited to be driving this Subaru Vivio for 2 reasons. First of all, of course, it is a K car. I love K cars. Having just gotten back from Japan, I'm so excited to be back behind the wheel of one. I'm excited to be driving right-hand drive again, and that is just lovely. But the second reason is the fact that this is the RXR, meaning the performance version of the Subaru Vivio. And so we do get a supercharger under the hood, and we're going to be exploiting that quite a bit here today. But if you'd like to submit your own vehicle and have it reviewed here on the channel, you can head on over to my website, zackpradel.com/submit. It's a quick and easy submission form. It takes under a minute to fill out, and I come out to you. And if you'd like to see all my videos weeks or sometimes months in advance, you can head on over to my Patreon for only $5 a month. Last but not least, huge thank you to Crazy K Imports up here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin for letting me borrow their Vivio for this video. More on them towards the end, but if you'd like to browse their inventory, you can do so down in the description below. But let's get back to that supercharged 4-cylinder under the hood. Well, it is special for 2 reasons. First of all, it's supercharged. Anything supercharged is going to be somewhat special in some capacity. But the second reason is the fact that K cars like this in Japan are limited to 658 cc's. So 9 out of 10 K cars that I've driven have had 3 cylinders. It makes sense. Subaru actually made the cylinders smaller so they could fit a 4th cylinder within that requirement. So it is rare to find 4-cylinder K cars. I've only actually driven Subarus that had the 4 cylinders, like in the sandbar vehicles. So that is a fun little treat, and it means that they're a little bit more torquey. Because they have the extra mass of a 4th cylinder, it actually makes the driving experience a little bit better, and I tend to prefer these 4-cylinder K cars over the 3. Like I said, paired to it is a 5-speed manual transmission. Feels great, lovely shifter throw, a very 90s, very communicative shifter throw that I would expect out of a performance car, and especially a Japanese one. Last but not least, it is all-wheel drive. So how does it feel to drive the Vivio RXR? Well, let's see what this supercharger's all about. Show me what you got. 9,000 RPM. Oh man, that is fun. That is very, very fun. So K cars are limited to about 64 horsepower, I believe. You get every single pony in this little thing. That is just so fun. Is it the fastest thing on God's green earth? No, but it's like a bike. This is like a moto bike. Oh, I love that. Oh, and it's so solid, that 4-cylinder. It really, I think that's where the motorcycleness really starts to come in, is that it is a 4-cylinder, 4-stroke with a supercharger. It's just basically a Gixxer with 4 wheels, or 2 additional ones. Oh, this is good. This is really, really good. Oh, that is too fun. That is too fun. Too fun. But in terms of other dynamics, it drives like a K car, meaning the suspension is pretty stiff. You are very, very small, and you're kind of at the whim of whatever the road wants to tell you to do. It's not necessarily a bad thing, and it's a characteristic of every K car ever, just because of the size. But visibility is great, and just boy, is it a hoot to drive. With that stuff out of the way, let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I have 4 gauges. Off to the left is my fuel and speedometer, and off the right is the tachometer and coolant temperature. That's it. On the steering wheel, we get horn buttons, but again, that's it. 92 is pretty early, so no airbags here for the Vivio. Off to the right, we do have a climate control vent. We have our rear defrost as well as our fog light switch and power mirrors. And moving on to the door, we have power windows. Very, very nice to see in a K car, especially one as old as 1992. Moving into the center, we get two more climate control vents and our climate controls themselves. This is outfitted with AC, which is very, very nice. And then we have an aftermarket radio down below that is so painfully late 90s, early 2000s. It is just fantastic. We do have a 12-volt outlet and an ashtray. We have the shifter in the center and handbrake in the center as well. However, we don't get any cup holders here in the Vivo, so unfortunately, yet so incredibly predictably, it fails the big friggin' bottle test. The seats are comfortable, but they are incredibly small. Now, that should be pretty obvious given the caliber of vehicle, but just something to note if you are looking at picking up one of these and you're a Yankee like myself, you might want to test fit a seat before you hit that buy button. But they are relatively comfortable enough. They are sporty for the RXR, which I like to see. However, much to my chagrin, we do have back seats, so let's try to cram myself back there. All right, stepping into the back of the Subaru Vivo. And so we could scoot this forward, click this, and that gives us some space to get in, but can't say it's a whole ton. Once we are in the back of the Vivo, honestly, it's not terrible when the seat is moved touching the dashboard. You could see behind the driver's seat, you don't get a whole lot. You do get a little storage container over here and over here. I like that. And sitting in the back, even with my sunglasses on my head's not hitting the ceiling. So height-wise, the Vivo actually does pretty well. It's the knees that don't really get along with the seat. And so, yeah, that would be a problem. But I am in the back of a Subaru Vivo. Can't imagine many people have said that in the United States. And it's fine enough. Again, if I really move the seat back, I can make it work. You could fit people in here. Don't anticipate driving your 4 friends across the country in this thing. That's the reality. Let's hop into the very back. We'll take a quick look at the trunk and cargo space, and then we'll talk about the looks. All right, coming around the back of the Vivo, we do have a little turnkey here, and as you can see, not a whole ton of space. It's a K car. None of them have great trunk space. However, you can pull this lever here and pull the lever here, and it will fold down. There's a package there. I don't want to crush it, but you can fold that flat if that's something that you would like to do. But there you go. That is the trunk space of a Subaru Vivo. Again, don't expect to move across the country, but if you need to get some groceries, you could do it in this. Now we got to talk about the looks. I don't think this has any crazy characteristics in terms of appearance. It looks like most other K cars. It doesn't have any wild styling like the AutoZam AZ1 does or anything like that. No glowing doors or nothing like that. I honestly, if you took the badges off, I would have guessed maybe this was a Suzuki, maybe this was a Honda Today, I don't know. It's not very Subaru either, and so that's where you kind of lose me with the looks a little bit. I don't feel like it looks super special, but it is special, and I guess at the end of the day, that's what actually really matters. Not looking special, but actually being special, and this is an incredibly special car. So let's get on to my final thoughts. What do I think driving a Subaru Vivo RXR? This thing is great. It is quick, it is fun, it is agile. And as I mentioned, it is special. Might not look it, but it is special. This is a unique car, and you're going to get an experience on 4 wheels that you can't really replicate in other vehicles, especially here in the United States. This is a very singular experience, and that's what Subaru has always been good at. You look at the Subaru Brat, that is a crazy, wild experience that isn't really mimicked in many other vehicles. You look at the WRX STI, the flat 4 turbo, the all-wheel drive, that rally heritage. You don't get that in a lot of other vehicles. And so Subaru has always had a very independent feel to me, and that's carried on here in the Vivo RXR. Now, the cool thing about this car as well is the fact that it actually needed the harsh requirements in order to exist. That's what I love about humanity, and that's what I love about engineering, is that when people are given rules and guidelines and restrictions, they find every single way to exploit it and get what they want anyway. So yes, the K car requirements are very strict. 660cc limit, 64 horsepower limit, size, length, width, height limits. All of those are very constricting factors, and yet engineers over at Subaru were able to pack a punch package with a supercharged 4-cylinder. They were able to throw this great manual transmission in this tiny package. They were able to make something great and special despite the regulations, despite all of the changes, despite the laws. They were still able to find a way. And so driving this, it feels like you're cheating. It feels like you have more than 64 horsepower. It feels like you're in a bigger car. It feels like you're driving something even crazier than you actually are. And that's what makes cars like this special. And that's what I love. The engineers just had a field day with this thing. And I'm so incredibly proud of them and just so incredibly enthused to be driving their creation. Whether you like it or not, policies, mandates, and restrictions create evolution, and that's what we have here today. We might not have this amazing 4-cylinder supercharged engine if Japan didn't require small engines, and that's something I'm not sure the world is able to exist without. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to PJ over at Crazy K's here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin for letting me borrow his Vivio. He's absolutely wonderful. He also imports vans and trucks, so if you're looking for a truck for your business, for out on the farm, K trucks and K vans, you want to start a little flower shop with a Honda Acti, please reach out to PJ at Crazy K's. Their information will be linked down in the description below, and they will help you find what you need. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.